Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines on some things I've been talking about this week. One of them's about gold, and then the other one's about stablecoins, which is the title of today's show. So I'm not gonna tease that one too hard. You can kind of guess what it's about. You know, the title just says it all. But let's dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. I do have that stock heat map pulled up for you. Let's dive on into that. We've got Apple looking up from yesterday's close in the pre-market, sitting up a 3.61 from its close on down 0.74. We do have Nvidia looking down in the pre-market, down a 1.25, sitting up from its close yesterday 0.77. We do have Berkshire Hathaway sitting up 0.66, and the pre-market looking quite neutral, sitting up 0.05. We've got Amazon sitting down just a percent from yesterday, and the pre-market looking to take back all of those losses, up 0.95% right now, was just up a percent, 0.02. We do have Eli Lilly sitting up quite nicely from its close yesterday, up 2.38, and the pre-market sitting down just a little bit, down 0.39. We've got ExxonMobil sitting up 0.83, and the pre-market also sitting up 0.43. We got Tesla sitting up 2.87, and the pre-market sitting in that neutral range, up 0.1. We do have P&G also sitting green from its close yesterday, up 0.71, and the pre-market looking quite neutral, up 0.04%. We've got Microsoft sitting down pretty hard from yesterday, down 6.18, and the pre-market seeing some buying pressure, up 1.09. We do have Google also in that uptrend, like most of the True 7, sitting up at 2.76, and the pre-market sitting up 0.46 right now. We've got Meta also making some gains from its close yesterday, up 1.55, and the pre-market sitting up 0.56. Crypto, on the other hand, is sitting in a very neutral range right now. We do have a few outliers like Ethereum and XRP, but for the most part, everything's sitting in that quite neutral range. We've got Bitcoin sitting down 0.02%. We've got Ethereum up 2.57. XRP is sitting down 1.14. We've got Doge sitting down 0.11. BNB is sitting up 0.81. We've got Solana in that neutral range as well, down 0.16. We've got Cardano up 1.32. TON sitting just outside of that neutral range, up 0.95. Chainlink up 4.76, a big winner in that top 10. We've got Avalanche sitting up 2.45. Stellar Lumens, like XRP, is sitting down for the morning, 1.23. We've got SWI slowing down on some of those gains, but up 2.68. TON sitting up 1.87, and Hedera is sitting up 0.14 right now. For the economic calendar today, we do have a lot of heavy data coming out. We've got core PCE price index month over month and year over year, looking looking at that forecast, we do have a bit of a increase on the month over month. That year over year is holding steady though. If we haven't seen much of the data move the markets this week, this might be the big mover for today. This might actually impact things. I've been saying that a lot of the moves might be preparation for the data later in the week. We have been continuing to see Bitcoin be resilient and a lot of the alts be resilient. So this is something I would keep my eye on. We do have core price index month the core price index month over month and year over year, and the non-core PCE price index at month over month and year over year, as well as personal income month over month and year over year as well. The non-core price index is looking to heat up a bit faster than that core is, going from that 0.1% to a 0.3%, which is quite a drastic change there. And the price year over year is also looking to increase as well, from that 2.4% to 2.6%, which is quite a drastic change for that year over year. Definitely a move in the wrong direction, just like a lot of the data that we've been seeing this past week. We do have that personal income month over month looking to head in the right direction, up 0.1% there. But that personal spending month over month is also looking to increase 0.1%, and kind of negating some of that personal income. We do have the Chicago PMI coming out at 9:45 Eastern Time. That will be another big market mover. So we do have a lot of heavy data coming out from 8:30 all the way to 9:45 here. A lot of big market movers for the morning. Other than that, we do have a light day for the rest of the day. Most of that movement will be in the mornings for the data, and then we'll kind of see where the markets lie afterwards. I do see Arsan crapping on some projects in the chat. XRP always getting that love from them. We've got a username in the chat, Jesse Gulak, Baba Yaz in here. We've got Donato Cabrera, Arsan246 saying good morning to everyone. Got Alexandra G in here and Jeffrey Stone Cipher. Good morning to you all. I see Arsan246 said ETH is alive, moving up just when I was about to DCA a bit more. Now we'll wait. Well, we'll wait on that data drop and kind of see where it heads things. Definitely could be a bit of a mixed bag for the morning that might head markets in a direction that might allow you to DCA. We're not at a bad range on ETH either. We'll take a look at that chart a little bit later and kind of see what we're seeing on the chart there. You do have that stock market fear and greed index sitting at that almost exact neutral range, up a point, sitting at 49 and neutral. Definitely to be expected when we're seeing most of that true 7 get that tick back to the upside after that big dump. It was nice to see that that big dump didn't really move things to that fear side, but I do think more fear might be heading our way as we start seeing some changes with the new administration and some of its policies. We do have tariffs rolling out for the beginning of February, and that will be that big market mover. We're already starting to see a change in the Forex. We do have the crypto side of things up 6 points and back in extreme greed. It might start bumping up against some resistance areas that we have above us and kind of suppress things just a bit, try to move a bit sideways in some ranges as we try to cool off some of our indicators and our fear and greed index as well. We are in a bit of a bullish trend, and you can definitely move farther to the upside and hit more extreme greed levels. We will have to keep our eye on that. Let me give this liquidation heat map a little refresh. I pulled that up a little while ago and I did see a little bit of movement, so I want to get that fresh data here. We do have a bit of a hot spot to the bottom side of us, sitting at that 103,400 all the way down to 103,200. That's an area I've talked about quite a bit. It is an area that I would like to see hold, especially if we do get some negative data for the morning. We do have a very, very, very light hotspot sitting to the top side of us at 105, almost 800 there. Zoom this on out to the 3-day, one of my favorites to look at for those swing trades. We do have a lot of liquidity sitting to the top side of us. That's that 106, almost 500 range for liquidity. There's about $40 million sitting up there. We do have the 1 week starting to clear up a bit for the bottom side. We do have that hot spot sitting at that same area as the 3-day there. We've still got that bit of a gap in between us and that 107 256 being that next little hot spot we see. Could definitely leave that open and move back down to confirm some areas of support once we go grab some of that liquidity at 106. The 2 week is looking very clear as well. We've just got a light hot spot to the bottom at that extreme 97,500, and that hot spot starting again to the top side at 107,300. Let's say hello to the rest of the people in the chat this morning. We've got Knoxville with the pink hand. Good morning to you, Knoxville. And Al Jr., good MF morning, y'all. We've got David Brumbelow in the chat saying good morning to everyone. Good morning to you, sir. I hope you're having a great day so far. Let's dive into this Bitcoin chart. I need to zoom that on out. I was looking at the 15-minute before I started the show. So let's zoom this back on out to that 4-hour. We are sitting right at a key level that I've been having my eye on. It was drawn from a daily chart there. We do have a bit of some curvature here on our MACD, moving quite sideways though. So looking for a decision to be made. We do have our money flow looking to curve back up and be some inflows here as our prime oscillator is moving quite sideways. Volume holding steady as well. We did get a reversal signal that we ignored quite strongly as we got that pushback up to 106 and then tried to hold that 104 as some support. We're now trying to turn that back into some support right now as we are trying to cool off a lot of these oscillators. Let's zoom this on in to the hourly and you can kind of see we did get that move back down below that 104 point and we kind of held that 50 moving average as some strong support there. I see Corny G dropping that corn in the chat. Good morning to you. And Brokenoshi No Dinero in the chat as well. Good morning to you. Yep, a lot of OGs in the chat this morning and a few new names in here as well. First time seeing Corny G was yesterday, so I appreciate you interacting with the chat. It's nice to see those lurkers finally saying hello to everyone. We appreciate every single one of you showing up. We do have that 1 hour getting that curvature on our prime oscillator as our MACD is looking to cross that 0 line and our indicator line as well. Indicator line is curving back to the top side on things as we do have that MACD line looking to hit that strong cross of both the indicator line and our 0 line here. So as long as we can get some green money flow coming in here, that could bode well for a push back up to that 106,500 where a lot of that liquidity lies. That would be a strong resistance area for us to try to get above. He's saying the volume is low there. Let me try to do something about that real quick. I do have an application that handles my mics, so I know it didn't end up starting this morning. There we go. Looking like there it is started. I hope that volume's a little bit better for you. It looks like it boosted it up quite a bit there. I don't know why it doesn't always like to start there. Might need to lower the volume a little bit on the stream. There we go. Looking a little bit better there, not peeking out at all. Hitting that nice area on the mic. Is that better for you? There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know why that program likes to pick and choose when it starts. Got username dropping those ribs in the chat. Good morning to you, username. As we see this volume and money flow holding steady on our 1 hour, we would like to see that curve back up to the top side with some positive money flow as we are getting these indicators looking to move back up. You do have the prime oscillator, which just hit that green point. So now I have to lower volume on my end. Hey, that's better than having to raise it up all the way and not being able to hear me still. I just turned mine down. Do I need to turn the volume down just a little bit more on the stream there? Let's see if that's a little bit better. Not peeking out any. There we go. Yeah, just lightly hitting that red area. There we go. A little bit better on you. I'll have to remember to turn that program on because sometimes it starts and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm half deaf. Sorry, guys, says Al Jr. Not a problem. I have had a bit of complaints sometimes with the volume on my microphone. So definitely something I try to adjust as I wait for my new mic to come in. Username says turn it up more. Well, I can't turn it up a whole bunch more. Otherwise, I'll start peeking out and get some nasty noise on that microphone there because I'm hitting the red sometimes. I don't want to peek it out. We do have that 15-minute looking like it's trying to cool down on these oscillators. You do have your 15-minute on your MACD hitting a bit of some curvature here, but still at that uptrend on the MACD. Your indicator line just hit the 0 after our MACD hit it just a few bars ago. We do have your bars here on the histogram turning light red, but as we see this money flow trying to get that curve back to the upside, I would look at things holding steady in this range. Volume is holding steady as well. We do have a reversal signal here that it looks like we might ignore here. If we do move quite sideways here on that 104, cool things off just a little bit on that 15-minute, we might get that continued push to the upside. You have a nice little area above us, which we might see a little bit of resistance at that 105, 300 before we really try to reclaim some of these levels to the top side. If we do get some overwhelmingly bad data this morning, we do have an area below us of some strong support at 102.7, which is kind of an oh crap level I'd be looking at if the data actually moves the market. This was an area drawn from a higher term time frame, which I would like to see hold. If not, it's kind of a crapshoot all the way down back to that golden pocket, or potentially seeing a bounce there at that 101 500 where we did see very equal candle bodies and some wicking off of it before we really reclaimed to that 102, which was a bit of a resistance there and resistance here and battled with quite nicely, so there's a bit of an order block there. Definitely a level to keep your eye on if the markets actually see bad data as bad data today. Jesse saying, sorry, got to go to lunch. Well, we will see you back here a little bit later when Piper goes live at 9:30. Jesse might see you in the Alex O Crypto chats as well. Alexandra G saying, smashing those likes. I appreciate that. Everyone's saying volume is good. So sorry that that program didn't start, but I'm glad I got that volume fixed for y'all. We do have a few news articles I wanted to dive into. Before I took a look at some of the assets there, I've been talking about gold a lot. The markets are a bit unsure, and gold has been getting bought up quite nicely. And this article touches on that quite heavily. Gold breaks out to new record high at 2,800 as Trump follows through on tariffs. U.S. President said Mexico and Canada are getting slapped with 25% tariffs on Saturday. It's good news for gold. Gold jumps on tariff fears. Gold prices jump to fresh record highs late Thursday after President Trump confirmed his intentions to impose a hefty 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico. Oil could get a pass, though. Tariffs timeline, it's all starting on Saturday, February 1st, and that explains gold's sudden surge to record levels. Traders and investors rush to scoop up the precious metal as a way to protect their portfolios from potential trade wars and geopolitical tensions. New record at 2,800. Bullion prices hit the never before seen 2,800 mark, up 1.5% from Thursday's session low of 2,757 per ounce. Early Friday prices had given back some of that advance and were gravitating towards 2,790. With that push, gold surpassed its previous record of 2,790 set late in October. It is still unclear whether that proposed tariff would apply to gold, as it has historically been exempt from import duties. This uncertainty is another reason for the pump. Fed and interest rate opportunities. The elevated demand for gold is happening right after the Federal Reserve on Wednesday held interest rates steady. The central bank's chief, Jay Powell, struck a cautious note on further rate cuts, saying that inflation has been rising worry for Fed officials. Lower rates generally benefit gold because it's a non-yielding asset, meaning that when rates move lower, they reduce the opportunity cost of holding gold because fixed income assets return less. And this is something I've been keeping my eye on here. Got David Brumlow saying, I'm wearing a full pro audio headset. As long as you're not clipping, you can turn down all we need to. But it can only go up so much. Volume is good. I just had it set and then jumped with the change. Well, thank you for that. Your volume is actually lower than most streams. Don't be clipping and in the red though. And that's where I have it set, right where I'm at that lower part of the red here. That's something that my program does. It gives that mic a little bit of a boost because I don't know why this mic, it's great for gaming, but it struggles a bit on the streaming. So that's where I've got that new mic coming in. It should be the first week of February. So keep your eyes out for that change there. I've got Rashad in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. I hope you're having a great morning so far. To touch on this article, I do think we see continued buying pressure on gold. This is a very uncertain time in the markets. You have been seeing the Forex markets make their decisions on how they think the U.S. economy will be doing. They have been giving that little bit of a boost to the dollar. You did see the euro slipping against the dollar yesterday, as we do have these tariffs coming into play. I think the Mexico tariffs will play a little more of an impact on the job market, as you do have a lot of imports coming in from Mexico that could easily be produced within the United States. And this is something a lot of countries have already been prepping for, like Samsung and LG have already talked about moving a lot of their manufacturing back into the US for things like refrigerators, which would get a big tariff hit of 25% on a big ticket item. So that would increase the price on that quite a bit on their end of things, and they would roll over just a little bit of that, which would decrease a lot of their sales. So kind of pushing that manufacturing back to the US here. We've got Rashad saying good morning to Alexander G. What gold stocks are you into, BC? I am the kind of person that doesn't really go with the stocks on gold. I like holding physical gold. I like holding physical silver as well. Back when silver was at some lows last year, I went to a gun show because I know they always have the precious metals there, and I bought a little bit of gold, but I mostly stocked up on silver because, you can't beat silver at below $30, and I paid a slight premium on it, but I was okay with it because I do see it doing quite well as we go into some uncertainty. There are several silver stocks and gold stocks that you can definitely take a look at. XAUU is going to be that main one for gold. It is the actual gold spot for the TradFi markets there. So if you do want to get into gold, that's the main one there. As you can kind of see, it is sitting at some key levels, got a boost up this morning from what I was just looking at. So gold, XAUU is that gold spot for the TradFi markets. If you like gold, always holding physical gold is another way to do that. I can kind of make a list for you on some gold stocks, both on like the mining and supplying side of the market on gold, and drop that in the Discord for you because I don't have that list readily available right now. I was taking a look at gold this morning. It is making that nice move off of the golden pocket here. Let's zoom that on in to the 1 hour, and that's where you can kind of see we are getting that continued move back to the upside. Definitely have that MACD looking to cross our indicator line on the top side as our volume is staying steady and kind of getting that tick back up, but your money flow is really pushing back up. As we have that prime oscillator sitting in that light red range looking to retest this platinum pocket here. We did kind of make a little push at it this morning and might see a little bit of resistance in that range on our 15-minute chart. We do have a bit of a reversal signal that flashed back here before we really got that push to the upside. If we can kind of make a lower high here, that would create a bit of a lower high on a prime oscillator. As we make a higher high here, would create a bit of a divergence that might push us down below that platinum pocket as we try to move sideways on that range. Is silver a fair price at gun shows? Most guns are overpriced at gun shows, asked DB Cooper. It really just depends where you're at. I'm sitting in Nebraska. There was a bit of a premium on the silver there. I think I paid $1.50 over asking price, which isn't too crazy. It does beat some of your silver prices online or gold prices online. So there's always going to be a premium when you're buying the physical. You just kind of hold it and you wait for that price to go up. I just stockpile. That's kind of my thing there. I look at it no differently than I look at investing in a stock indice or Bitcoin. I'm not looking to sell it. It is just a hold. It is a long-term hold for me. I don't see it going down crazily unless we do see a massive economic recession. And that's those times where you would see gold or silver prices go down. Uh, it would be more depression level where you would see gold and silver really struggle in those areas as well. So definitely gun shows are a good place to buy silver at least. Gold is more of a crapshoot on it. So looking for a bit of some resistance here at that 2,805 range, as you do have your prime oscillator overheating just a bit. Your MACD still has some room to run there, so if we can get to the top side of it, turn it into some support there. You do have an area from my old Fibonacci extension. Let's get that one drawn out and hide that one, where we do have 2,826 being that next little area where we're going to see some strong resistance. That's at 1618 on gold. The last silver bars I bought were $6 an ounce back in the dark ages. I sold all mine, sold all my gold too. If gold holds or gold goes up, our economy, stocks, and crypto will be tanking. Gold down, crypto up. Yep, and that's I just hold it as a hedge. So like most, it's not like an overwhelming percentage of my portfolio. I just see it as a good hedge against inflation. And those are those times where I just like to hold a little bit of everything. Got Dave Digital in the chat. Good morning, good morning. Dropping that and thanks. I like to hold both, says username. Yep, and that's kind of what I like to do as well. You do see silver making some nice moves as well, as we do see. Oh, I think I hid a bunch of my indicators there. Let's get that drawn back out. Let's zoom it on out because we might need to. Oh, that's why. That's why they were all sitting below us. I was talking about wanting to see us get back above a trend line that turned into some resistance, but was a nice strong support line for quite a while. It's been running from last year. I see Jay Violet in the chat dropping those rib emojis. Good morning to you. Good evening to you, Jay Violet. I always forget sometimes that you're in Australia from the down under. We do have silver making some nice moves the same way that gold did, as we are in more uncertain times. We are seeing those tariffs going to be rolling out February 1st, and this will be the start of some big market moves. We do have that 4 hour looking to get a bit of a rollover here. Your money flow is getting a bit of a rollover here as well, but your volume is holding steady, which might just be a little bit of selling pressure. Seeing us come back down and confirm this as a strong support again would be a nice move to see. We do have that 1 hour looking quite nice as we move sideways and these oscillators are cooling off. The MACD is getting a bit of some curvature, but still pointed to the downside quite heavily. Your prime oscillator, on the other hand, is starting to move quite sideways in this range. Money flow holding quite steady here as your volume is slowing down just a bit here. Looking for that money flow to really get that peak back up on our lower term time frames. If not, we might see that rollover back down to our trend line here. You do have some very strong support right underneath that at that 236, which is where we got that strong bounce as we battled that support line to blast through it. That was that strong area of support I really wanted to see us hold, and I did talk about us getting that little bit of a battle between that trend line and the 236 before we tried to get above things. I would really like to see us confirm that as some support there, but that 15-minute is looking like we might get that bit of a rollover as we are starting to see a bit of some sell off. You do have a divergence that hasn't played out yet. Your MACD hit a cross of our indicator line here, but it is getting some curvature to move a little more sideways. So seeing silver make a little bit of a downside move here as we try to confirm some support as we wait on that money flow to kind of roll over into our higher term time frames would be what I would look at. Let's take a look at the S&P real quick. If anyone has any alt requests they'd like me to take a look at, I did have ETH I was going to take a look at because Arsan246 was talking about it this morning, and I've been keeping my eye on Ethereum as well. I've got a buddy that likes to stockpile Ethereum. We do have the S&P sitting at some right below some key levels. Let's zoom this on out to the 4-hour here. As you can kind of see, we got some strong resistance off of the platinum pocket here, which will be our next battle range. We are looking to close this CME gap, which is starting topside at 6,100. Very psychological level, which we might briefly get above before trying to turn this platinum pocket here into some support if the markets don't really look at today's data as negative like they've been doing over and over this week. There is that potential to come back down though. That midline of our CME gap is sitting right below us at that 6,047 mark, which we would see as a very strong bouncing area as we wait for these moving averages to kind of catch up and get that curve back to the upside on some of these higher term time frames. You can kind of see they're moving quite sideways here in this range, really waiting on those that curve back up on money flow and the moving averages as well. We are sitting quite red on that money flow as the true 7 is cooling down and our prime oscillators moving quite sideways. Volume holding steady though, which is kind of what we want to see on the higher term time frame. MACD getting that curvature back to the upside, which might be that push to close that CME gap. We do have that 15-minute looking like we're seeing a little bit of a resistance here at that platinum pocket and might try to see that bounce back at the midline. You have that MACD at a very indecisive point. Your MACD and indicator line are moving sideways together here. Definitely a very decision-making point, which we would need to see that money flow coming in as some buying pressure. Volume holding steady. Prime oscillator at that same indecisive point as it is quite sideways here. All right, let's take a look at the Dixie. I wanted to see us hold a very key level, and that's what we did. This was a strong area of resistance from back here. It was also an area from back here where we did get a nice little bounce off of before we really made some yearly highs on the Dixie. This is where I wanted to see us hold as we got a bit of a downtrend. We did get a brief wicking below it and pulled back above it. We got a very strong bounce above it once we rejected off of that platinum pocket on an extension, and we're looking to try to turn this into some strong support here. We do have that daily looking to hit that curve back on the upside on our MACD, as well as with the prime oscillator as well. True 7 looking quite red as it's moving sideways, volume holding steady, and we're just gonna need to see some buying pressure come on in here. I see Lunar Beach's crypto in the chat. Good morning, good morning. Thoughts on GRT? I'm up 42% this morning. I will definitely take a look at GRT. It's been a while since I've looked at that one. Let's get that one added to the list there. GRT. Let's zoom the Dixie in to that 1 hour and see what we're seeing here. This is where I've talked about that platinum pocket coming back into play. We do see a bit of some curvature on your MACD as we're looking to do a bit of some battle here with our indicator line. We do have very green histograms though, and that's where we might see that curve back down on our MACD towards our Our indicator line cool off just a little bit. Same with the prime oscillator. It is looking to get a bit of some curvature here to the downside as our volume is slowing up just a little bit on the Dixie. To have that 15-minute looking to hit that curve back to the top side of our indicator line, but we do have that rollover of our prime oscillator, and it is looking quite red as our true 7 starts moving sideways. That'd be that platinum pocket that I'd like to see turned into some heavy support here. We've done battle with it, move to the top side, move to the bottom, got some bounces off of some moving averages here, which the Dixie likes to do quite frequently before we really push back above all of our moving averages and are really moving quite sideways, looking like we might see a brief sell-off on the morning though. We did have a few alt requests. I see Silver Days XRP in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Username, just wanted to know relative gold stock prices to look at. That is all. I will drop those in the chat for you. Drop those in the Discord for you after the show. Because I do have a list. I just got to go find it. It's on one of my exchanges that I use for TradFi. So I definitely have a list for you. Just not readily available. I'm not trying to go diving into my computer too far. We do have Ethereum sitting at a nice area here. We did break back above our 50% Fibonacci on an extension here, and we might try to turn it into some brief support before we really get that blast back to the upside. We do have our prime oscillator looking to get that move back up, but it is sitting light red here. Your money flow is kind of slowing up. It is starting to be more selling pressure here. Volume also starting to increase, which is kind of not what you want to see on your higher term time frames as we try to hit those crosses. Let's take a look at that 1 hour there. We do have the 1 hour looking like it's going to be getting a bit toppy here. I have SWE requested. Let's get that added to the list there. You have that prime oscillator looking like it's going to get a bit toppy here. You do have your MACD starting to slow up a bit on that move to the upside as we hit that cross of our indicator line. Your money flows looking quite green though, which is definitely a positive if we are able to maintain some money flow here, as we do see these indicators getting a bit of a cool off. I would look at that at 50% line at 3,300 being that little bouncing point. We are making a strong move off of this line I had drawn out that I wanted to see us try to turn into some support there. Can probably see it on that 15-minute where we really got that resistance underneath it. Yep, that's where you can see we really got that resistance underneath it and tried to do a bit of some battle with it, and as we got some money flow coming in on that 15-minute, we really got that strong push back above it. You are starting to see those topping signals on that 15-minute as your MACD is getting that rollover as well, and your prime oscillator is starting to move down here. Money flow holding steady as volume is holding steady as well. Would really need to see that increase if we want to continue that on the 15-minute, but that's where we do have that strong support at that 3,312 on that Fibonacci extension there that I would like to see a bounce. It is making a higher low, as you can see, higher highs, higher equal highs there, but these lows are all higher, and that's definitely a nice little uptrend to continue making there. Seeing a little bit of a pullback after a nice move to the upside is some healthy price movement. Let's take a look at GRT. It was requested. I'm not sure if I have that on my list in my favorites. I think it was in my favorites. I guess not. It might be in my extras. There we go. GRT. Great little play that I had made back in the first half of the market. I did sell off all of mine though. I don't think I've drawn on this chart. Yeah, have not drawn on this chart in quite a while. We did get that push back up here, which is back in March, where I ended up selling off a bunch of my altcoins. So let's try to get a new chart drawn out. Let's go from current range here and see where we're sitting on a Fibonacci retracement. Looking like we might be at right above that platinum pocket here. We are looking for a continued bounce here. We do have lots of cooling off in this range on our prime, on our MACD, and then we got that brief drop back just like the rest of the market, and we looked to hold that 900 moving average as some support there. Definitely looking for that platinum pocket being turned into some support as we dropped below it. We did get some Wiccan action off of it as we tried to hold that quite nicely there. Let's zoom this on in to our 1 hour here, because I know you were talking about for the morning. Your 1 hour still has plenty of room to run here as we're getting that move to the upside. Your prime oscillator here is just a light red. And your MACD is just starting to hit that cross. It is moving slightly sideways and it hits that cross on the top side. So looking like we might see a bit of a cool off there. And then try to continue that move to the upside as we wait on that prime oscillator to try to switch back to the green here. We do have 2 reversal signals flash on that 1 hour. Let's see what that 15-minute is showing for the morning. Got our first divergence stacking up there, and your MACD is quite at a decision-making point. It is moving sideways as your indicator line is continuing to move to the upside. Got your True 7 starting to pick back up, your volume holding steady here. So if a money flow continues to come on in, there's definitely a little bit more room to run to the upside on the 15-minute as well. Let's see where we might see a bit of a resistance in this range. Let's get a horizontal ray drawn on out here. Horizontal ray, and we do have us sitting at some key levels from back here, which we are looking to try to turn into some support, which we saw resistance before we really got a push back above it. And we've got some equal candle bodies here at about 19,185. That would be a very strong resistance area to see us try to get to on both our higher term time frames and the shorter term time frame as well. Would stack up another divergence as well, as we'd probably see a lower high on your prime oscillator, and your MACD is getting that nice little curve back up on the 15-minute as well. Looking like a money flows very strong. This is a solid project. I might have to look at diving back into it. I liked it quite nicely. It is a D-pin project used for moving information around. Gotta get on the road. See you all later. Much love. Thanks for the stream, says Alexander G. I appreciate you. I know it's an early morning for you, so drive safe to work and don't have too much fun in that California traffic there. We did have Sui requested. Let's take a look at Sui before we start wrapping the show up. It is 6:50. We got 10 minutes before we all gotta go over and raid Alexo Crypto. Make sure to drop those graduation caps when you go over to Alexo Crypto. We got Wicca 589. Ripple likes stablecoins. AVAX is faltering, says Arsan246. All right, let's hop over to our that SWI, and if we have a bit of time, we can take a look at AVAX as well. Let's take a quick look at SWI. We are bouncing oh, look at that. coming up to a area of resistance that I had talked about potentially seeing for a sweet 4 hour, looking like it's got plenty of room to run. We got that nice little move back up above that 382 to come back up to a resistance area at that $4.25. Prime oscillator showed a reversal signal here on the 4 hour, but your volume is ticking back up and your prime oscillator getting that curve back to the upside. Definitely looking to see if we can see some continued money flow in this range. We do have an area back here where we saw some brief resistance, which we are looking to try to turn into some support right now. There's a bit of an order block in this range, so seeing us come back into it and cool things off just a bit before we get that push back up to 425 and try to get to that $4.36 range would be that nice little move to see on the macro there. Let's zoom that on in to the 1 hour here and see what we're seeing. Starting to see some reversal signals. No overbought signals flashing just yet. We do have that MACD looking like it's trying to cross that indicator line one more time on the top side and try to make that push back up to $4.25. We are making some higher lows here, looking to try to make our first higher high as we bump up against this $4.25. That has been a bit of a resistance here. Let's see what that 15-minute is bringing our way. I see Buck in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. We are seeing that 15-minute looking like it's going to need to cool off those oscillators just a bit. As we pull back down towards our indicator line on our MACD, we might look for a little bit of a bounce off of that. True 7 looking to cool off just a bit. Your MACD, your prime oscillator is getting a bit of a rollover, and it is at that red point. So would need to see some continued money flow. Your volume is looking quite nice here on the 15-minute, which might bode for a higher low. As you can kind of see, we're looking to get that little bounce off of some of these moving averages. We got a nice little wick in action off of that 200, and then we bounced back off of this 900 moving averages. You do have a bunch of these moving averages which are looking to come back up. You've got your short term on the top side, and you're looking for that cross of our higher term time frames to cross back up on the 900. This is the 900, 800, 700 sitting there. We do have the 600. So you have some of these mid-term time frame moving averages sitting on the bottom side of everything, and they're looking to curve back up. So could see that continued movement to the upside if we are able to maintain some of this continued money flow. Wick asking, what up, BC? I hope you enjoy your weekend. I don't really have many plans this weekend. I'm just looking to kick back and kind of relax here. Did you say Alexo Cripple? I was looking at I was looking at a chat and it kind of crossed over. He said Ripple and I was saying crypto and it came out as cripple. So yeah, I did say that. Let's take a brief look at AVAX here. It was talked about that it might be seeing some resistance here. We are going to zoom this on out to the 1 hour. Not going to look too far into that history before we try to wind the show down here. We do have us looking to get that strong bounce off of that $34.50. I've talked about that level for AVAX. It is drawn back here from some equal support that we had seen, and when we dropped back below it, turned into some resistance. Looking like we turned it into some strong support here on our 1 hour, and are looking to see that continued movement up on our prime oscillator. Still have a bit of some room to run to the top side on the prime oscillator. Not seeing any reversal signals flashing on this next little push up. Not seeing any overbought signals either. MACD definitely has some more room to run here on the 1 hour. Looking to try to confirm some support here on this brief little order block that we had made and push back up to this fair value gap, which we had closed once we saw some resistance on the top side. That bottom side being that $36.18, which we might start seeing some resistance at. If we can try to confirm this area right around here at about $35.50 as some support here. We do have the 15-minute looking like it might try to cool off here. Make another little touch here on that $34.50. Really cool off those short-term time frame oscillators before we really continue that push back to the upside. Let's see what that 4 hours is looking like, seeing if it might have some, that 4 hour just hit across of our zero line or indicator lines, looking quite to the upside as well. Prime oscillator looking slightly toppy here in that range, but we're not seeing any overbought signals, not seeing any reversal signals starting to flash. So could see a little bit more of a push to the upside on AVAX as well. It's really going to depend on Bitcoin and kind of how the market takes that data to get that strong bounce off of that 900 moving average, and it looks like that 800 moving average is a bit of a resistance point there, and looking to try to break above it there. Last night TradeFly is talking about fighting him. Now you call him cripple. Wow. Oh, I didn't even see that one. I'm always going to bed right around the time they go live. But I also was live last night when he went live. I was over on Crypto Coin Mindset's channel, which I want to talk about. We did a nice discussion on Crypto Coin Mindset's channel about the Bitcoin strategic reserve versus the crypto stockpile that has been talked about. There was Brian from what is it? Tiny Crypto Block. I believe it's Tiny Crypto Block. He was on there as well. So was a very nice chat that we had on kind of both sides that we wanted to see on the crypto reserve for the U.S. government. There's been talk about a crypto stockpile or a Bitcoin reserve, and this is where we dived quite deep into both sides of it. Both sides deserve merit. There's been a lot of arguments on Twitter, X, about which projects should go in and what projects shouldn't go in. We kind of broke it all down. I think either way is an overwhelmingly positive for crypto, and we're going to see it happening eventually. We did see the first bill on the floor of Congress for a Bitcoin reserve. This is separate from Donald Trump's moves for a Bitcoin reserve. So probably going to see that heading our way here soon. Definitely going to be keeping my eyes out. I don't think it happens within that first 100 days of his administration, which we do talk about on that show as well. It is an hour and a half long one, so if you have some time, go ahead, give it a little bit of a watch. Check out his channel as well. He does some great work. And give him a little sub if you are not subbed. I'm going to drop that link in the chat for you as well. I appreciate every single one of you for showing up today. It is Friday, and it's going to be a good day. It might be a volatile day as well, so take advantage of those. Hop over in the Alex O Crypto Show, because he's probably going to have some moves for us to make on the charts. I know he's been prepping while I've been live, and he's probably got his eyes on some key movements that we can make and take advantage of some of the volatility. Make sure to tune into the Morning Market Report with Piper and OC. That will be at 9:30 Eastern Time. We do not have the Crypto Nightcap today. That is normally at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday. No markets after dark either. That is Sunday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern with Lunar Beaches Crypto. But we will be having Trade Academy with Trade Intuition today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Go ahead and show the rest of the shows on the Piper Academy some love. If you haven't hit that like button for me, hit that like button on the way out if you liked some of our discussions today. I will be dropping a gold list in the Discord. So if you're not on that Discord, go ahead, check that link in the description. We do a lot in the Discord as well. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.